Hey y'all, it's Melissa here at Twin Oaks Family Farm in rural Southeast Ohio, USA, March 18th, 2024, and we're just doing kind of a little bit of a bonus reel on the 8-day-old meat chickens. Some of y'all joined us for our video that we did on this first flock of 2024 for meat production. We did start with 126 birds in the flock on their 8-day-old video. We had to share with you that we lost a bird overnight, and actually we had the opportunity to really document our perspective as a producer, finding that occurrence and finding that news in our brooder. You were right with me when we found that we had lost a bird overnight, and wanted to kind of follow up on a few of the points about that I didn't get to mention in that video. We had a great opportunity when I needed to stop that video. We had a great opportunity. We had a customer stop in, so that gave us a great opportunity to chat and visit, catch up with one of our customers. And I was so glad to see them. They came to get eggs from us, but we wanted to tell you a little bit more about what we were into with these birds. So one thing you can see, we're back in, some of the winter gear, the heavy coat. We need to cover our ears and our top of our head because it's cold out, and want to wear the gloves, but can't wear the glove on this hand because this hand has to run the camera prompts. And so it's in the 30s, 38 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's normal for rural Southeast Ohio, USA in March. That's a normal kind of temperature for us to expect. But like 4 days ago, we had like 75 degrees Fahrenheit, and that spoils you kind of quick. So then with our birds too, it's really a challenge. That's the biggest challenge with our setup and our flocks and our birds, especially this time of year, is working with the temperature and working with the resources we have to help our birds be as comfortable as possible, because they can't just be 38 degrees, 40 degrees Fahrenheit. They still really want to be 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's hard to accomplish that in our setup. We've got a new barn, but it's a rustic style barn. And we have good airflow, and we want good airflow. We need good airflow even when it's really cold outside, but we've got a lot of airflow that the consequence of is a lot of heat loss when we introduce the supplemental warmth. So then, we've got to deal with that for our birds. And the other thing on that is even when we provide supplemental warmth, if we've got a steady temperature, that's a lot easier for us to utilize the supplemental warmth for. But when we have temperature swings of like 30, 40 degrees Fahrenheit at once, or over just a few days, and it's going back and forth daytime to nighttime, then that's hard for them, even though the supplemental warmth is there, because they're kind of trying to establish a routine, and they can be under the heat lamps at X temperature, but they can't be under the heat lamps at Y temperature, but their brooder space is set up the same regardless. So the birds have to acclimate to that anyway. So I'm going to take a look at them. We've got some good visuals to look at here. Thanks for hearing me out, and want to show you what we're seeing, tell you what we're going to be changing, and just see how this group is doing now. So thanks for checking in. Thanks for joining me. Really appreciate y'all being here. And we did pop over 700 subscribers. That's really cool. And what was really cool about that was one of our viewers, Tina, shout out to you. When I looked at some of the notifications on the YouTube comments on the videos, Tina had commented that, yay, we were over 700. And yeah, like I saw the comment, and I was like, wow, over 700, that's cool. We've been waiting on that. And actually, last week, part of my goal for the week was to try to do some work to exert some just investment of effort to get the YouTube channel to 700 subscribers. So, you know, in the end, though, there's nothing I can really do about that. We can do the work and work the process, but in the end, it's just if people subscribe or don't. So anyway, so thanks y'all for the subscribes. Thanks for the interaction on our video. And what do we have going on here? So let's take a look at the birds. We are like at 38 degrees Fahrenheit outside. And so, you know, we're more or less subject to the outside temperature. So can we see on this end, these two lights here, okay, the birds are kind of they're just kind of mishmash, hodgepodge under those lights to get in and out. They're stepping on each other, okay? Let's compare that to down here. Okay, so in these, now in this one, it's a little more organized, but I still have, if y'all can tell, there's still one bird in the center. And let me tell you, right now that bird's comfortable, but pretty soon that bird's going to want out. And so that bird will be able to get out. But in these two clumps, when a bird wants out, and you're seeing that there, it's hard for the bird to get out, okay? So why is the bird going to want out? The bird's either going to want out for water, for food, or because it gets too hot, all right? Now, that's why we want to see, and this is the best example, that's why we want to see this, okay? We want to see the birds make a ring. Can y'all tell that's what we've got happening there? We want to see the birds make a ring with their tails pointed into the center of the circle, leaving a gap in the middle of the circle. We want like a donut of chickens, okay? And that's because then, like if a bird gets too hot, it can just stand up and walk further out from the light, right? That's what we want, okay? We don't want, these aren't bad. We don't want this. We don't want this. This is bad. So this is these chicks saying to me, as a flock manager, we're not comfortable enough. We're chilly. We're not warm enough. And so we're going to huddle together. We might even pile on top of each other. And that's how we're going to try to stay warm. Okay? And that is sometimes a contributor to, like what we had in the 8-day-old chickens video, when we have a bird that doesn't make it, okay? If it gets in there and gets its head and neck underneath several other birds, and then when it decides it wants out of there, if it can't get out, it can be suffocated there, okay? And so that could have contributed to the bird that we lost on day 8 or overnight from day 7. But this is what we want to see under heat lamps. So what is going to happen in here to deal with our temperatures? Well, if we can get to this, if we can get to all the birds doing this under the various lights, we're going to leave the lights as they are. And I think we can. I was trying to go in on these guys. They were playing. We actually, the door swung open again. And so that's why I think some of these are setting like this. Once we get that door closed up and there's less air, yep, you can come see us, less air movement in here, that might help these front ones, okay? They were all clumping up down at that furthest away from us from this vantage point. And as rudimentary as it seems, that's why I set that bag there, because it provides just enough, that bag of pine shavings, the white bag, if y'all need a visual reference there, because it provides just a little bit of a windbreak where that air could be moving through here. And we also set some there, so that provides a little bit of a windbreak from it coming from that side. And so then if we get the door closed, I think that this end will be like that end over there, okay? But if we can get all of the groups utilizing the lights this way, we're okay. All right. So we did add a couple feeders also, because they cleaned up. We had just 7. We had just 7 of these feeders out, and they cleaned them up in about 5 hours. And so I filled them So now we have 9 feeders here. Okay, so we're filling those. When we've used up 100 pounds, we'll tell you. We haven't quite used up 100 pounds yet, and we're on day 8. So I think about day 10, we'll be opening the next bag, and we'll have used about 100 pounds, okay? We have 7 waterers in. We're now filling them about twice a day, okay? So probably they're drinking about 14 gallons of water approximately. And I think we're gonna have to leave the lamps there. We may, if we can't get these groups all using the lights like this, like that, we already have some chains here so like right here, and here, and here. So we can add, hey Whale, how you doing, bud? You going to the livestock quality assurance? All right, love you. See you, bud. Thanks. So we may add in some more lights if we can't get things comfortable throughout here, okay? So it was warm enough, we actually had raised the height of the heat lamps. Now with it getting cold again, you know, we dropped them to what we can extend them, but we want to keep them moving around. The other thing we can do that we're gonna do is we have a bag of shavings that's already open, about half used. I'm gonna get that bag of shavings, and we're gonna put all fresh bedding under these lamps, and that'll kind of give them something that's fresh bedding that hasn't had to absorb any moisture, so it'll be that much drier, and that'll help with warmth too, because when it's cold, you know, moisture just feels cold when it's cold. Okay, and so take a look at this. Take a look at them. I'm going to try to get my other glove off. We'll try to zoom in. Had to use my teeth to get my glove off my hand. So, okay, I know it's hard to tell with them concentrating under that heat lamp, but that's the egg production chicks, okay? And so they've made that ring around the light beam. One of these out here, if y'all can tell, I don't know if I can get I don't really have a pointer of any kind, but 2 of them are facing us here on this side. So anyway, so that's how we want to see them using it. So, you know, it's kind of a catch-22. We're awfully glad to have the great ventilation and have the airflow, but when it gets cold, then, you know, then we feel the cold. But this is really good. I'm trying to zoom back out again. Not a skill I possess, apparently. Okay, but if we can get, I mean, that's really good. These first 2 lights now. Okay, if we can get them all doing this, then we're okay with the lights that we have up. And we should be okay with the lights that we have up. We should be okay with 6 lights for 125 birds. Even though, you know, it's not a real airtight building. So I'll try to hold the light or the camera kind of down so y'all can see how they're sitting. And that's what we want. Okay, so, you know, we're going to stay encouraged. We are going to stay encouraged that they are eating and they are drinking. All right, so that's a good sign. And they are willing to get up and move around. But see, that's what they do. You know, they'll walk in there, and then if they all get clumping up in the middle, they can't get out. So this group here is doing pretty good. And like that one just manured. I know it sounds funny, but we pay attention to that. What was the manure quality like? It was normal. So that's a good thing. Okay, and see, this is where we're saying, like this one that's up, it got warm. It was trying to move away from the light, and it's running into 3 other birds, and it can't get out. Okay, so I do think when we get this door closed up secure and they settle back down, I think we're okay. I think we're okay. But we hopefully won't have the wind. I've noticed just even in the course of recording this, there's much less wind now than there was before. So maybe if some of the wind that we've been having today and last night, maybe if that ceases, the birds can be more comfortable. So anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. We always hate it when we lose a bird, but you know, on the other hand with that, sometimes there's nothing you can do, and sometimes that is the result of something that was set into motion before we even had the bird. Sometimes it's okay, and again, sorry to tell y'all, you know, but that's a very healthy example of manure from a chick, so we know that's a good sign. But no, sometimes there can be conditions even in hatching that, you know, that's out of our control, because we get our chicks from a hatchery. You know, there can be things that just, it is what it is. The chick's a runt, the chick doesn't thrive, the chick doesn't keep up, and then when a little bit, you know, when things are great, that chick might kind of sail through. But then if anything, you know, is a little bit of a stressor or a lot of a stressor, and that chick's system has to compensate, then, you know, that can make a difference. So anyway, but this looks good. This looks a lot better. So I think we're going to be okay. But this is what we want to see here. But we will go ahead and we'll give them some fresh bedding, and that'll be nice and dry and warm. And we'll keep using these heat lamps and keep the water and feed to them. And we always prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So God bless y'all. Thanks so much.